All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Mining Experience. The Mining Experience is a live podcast that invites professionals from the mining industry to discuss new technologies, address challenges, and share work experiences. Today, our topic is mining ventures in Chile. My name is Mohammed, and I will be your host for today. So just a little background about myself. I graduated from McGill University with a bachelor in mining engineering, and I'm the marketing team leader here at ProMine. And I'm here today with Paulina. Paulina, how are you today?
Very good, Mohammed. Thank you so much for asking. Well, I am Paulina Gallego, Technical Support Specialist at ProMine. I'm from the mining. I studied mining and metallurgical engineering in the National University of Colombia, and I'm going to be your co-host today.
Excellent. And we have the honor to host two very special guests today, Professor Jacopo Seccatore, civil engineer from the Polytechnic of Torino from Italy, holds a Master of Science from the same Polytechnic in Geoengineering and a Ph.D. in Mineral Engineering from the University of São Paulo in Brazil. He's currently the professor of mining engineering at Adolfo Ibañez University in Chile, founder, former coordinator, and current scientific counselor of the experimental mine project of the University of São Paulo. And he also has specific experience in explosives engineering for mining and civil applications, tunneling and underground spaces, open pit and underground mining.
Also, we are going to have the pleasure to be with Mr. Gonzalo. He is Trade Commissioner at the Embassy of Canada in Chile, responsible for business development in the mining, aerospace and defense, advanced manufacturing, chemical products and petrochemicals, ocean technologies, plastic, and financial services sectors. Mr. Munoz has gained previous private experience in consulting engineering with a company from the United Kingdom and as a senior advisor at the Ministry of the National Defense of Chile. He holds a postgraduate degree in defense studies from the Chile's Defense College, Academia Nacional de Estudios Políticos Estratégicos in 1991.
Excellent. And like I said, today our topic will cover the topic of mining ventures in Chile. And being one of the biggest copper producers worldwide, Chile actually plays a huge role in the mining industry globally. So in this episode, we'll discuss, the different factors that affect mining investment and their implications in the mining industry. So, Professor Jacopo, I guess we'll first start by asking you, currently in Chile, are there a lot of investments from foreign companies?
Well, first of all, let me introduce myself from the point that, as you said in my biography, I'm not Chilean. I come from Italy. So
that's correct.
I've been living in Chile for 5 years now, but I still lack the complete knowledge of the Chilean mining market. So I had to look that up, but I can name some companies. There are Lundin, Kinross, Yamana Gold, amongst the most famous, South America Gold and Copper Company, Teck Resources, and there are also many small or medium-scale exploration companies, some junior, some not junior, that do not actually operate mines, but they research. They try to expand the knowledge on resources and reserves, and then probably sell the project to someone who wants to expand the exploration or mine. That's quite common what Canadian companies do down here in South America.
I see.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jacopo. Well, I would like also to ask you, how are the Chilean public policies helping drive the mining industry today?
Well, there is a lot of changes during the last days, the last weeks at least. There has been some discussion in increasing the mining royalties. The Ministry of Mines acts a lot with on the territory with many mining organizations, public mining organizations that fiscalize and they audit, they promote investment. So especially the Ministry of Mines is very, very proactive on the management of any kind of mining, from small scale to large scale mining.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And would you say that would that be considered as, something that helps the mining industry? Does the public see it as something that's beneficial, that, this is actually going to help us in the future?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the
So,
actual.
because we're talking about more, we're talking about the public policies that help drive the mining industry. So I'm wondering, from the people who work in the mining industry, do they see that as something that's beneficial, that's going to help them, in the mining, in their work, and how they envision it for the future?
Well, as you can imagine, the last discussion regarding increase in mining royalties was not well received within the industry, of course. I think that something more can be done, but public policies in Chile, policymakers understand that mining is the most important industry in the country, so they always act in that direction. Now, from the point of view of the companies, there is always a discussion about too much bureaucracy. I think in any country there are too many royalties. But on the other hand, policymakers have to understand that, and they understand that mining is also a resource for the state as well, not only for companies. So there's a sort of cost and benefit balance that must be put into account. So
absolutely, yes. And let's diverge a bit from that subject and talk a little bit about software. So in your opinion, or if it's if it's something that's a fact actually, why is a mining and geology, or mining or a geology software important in Chile's mining industry, especially now that there are exploration projects going on? So how does software come into play right now?
Well, as I told you last time we exchanged words, softwares facilitate the life of the operators. So they accelerate your process. Now, there are two kinds of softwares that solve problems that could be solved theoretically by hand on an Excel sheet. So softwares that deal with linear solutions. On the other hand, there are softwares that deal with non-linear solutions that couldn't be solved without numerical approach. Those softwares are the most important in the mining industry, like geotechnical, geomechanical softwares, block modeling, mine design. So the only thing that I criticize a lot, because I don't know how to use many softwares, but I have an assistant that teaches software for me, and they need to get more and more user friendly. That's something that is really important. The interface, to my knowledge, to these days, is not easy enough. Let me make an example of a software that is really easy friendly, is AutoCAD. Okay, everybody knows that software, and it's really user friendly. Some mining softwares are not so much. So, in fact, you can learn AutoCAD by yourself when you download it, and other softwares need weeks and weeks of training, where people from the software company need to go to the mine and train the operators. And so that's my vision. Should be more user friendly.
I guess it's also because, generally in the mining industry, people who work, especially on site, nobody has time to, sit down and watch either a live course or a live webinar for a few hours. People are so busy that it's very important to have, like you said, a user-friendly software that you could,
indeed,
that's very straightforward. Like you have, okay, I know my mining knowledge. Now let's apply to a software, and it's easy to use, so I can use it with just a few clicks. So
exactly.
Yeah,
there are some, not many.
Yeah, absolutely. And the example you gave of AutoCAD is actually a very good example because, you know, it shows, I mean, just the number of users of AutoCAD is you know, like a huge amount compared to any other CAD software, and mainly because it's very easy to use and, you know, it's very straightforward as well. So, and not to mention that it's also flexible, right? So it can be user friendly, but it can, you know, you need to do the full, you need to have, you need to have a software that you can accomplish your goals with it, and at the same time be have it user friendly. So yeah, that's very
let me point out that I do not work for Autodesk. Okay, so
yeah,
and they don't pay me for
we
the software.
Yeah, so this is not an AutoCAD promotion, but we're just stating the fact that it's user friendly.
Just an example. Just an example.
And in your opinion, how does that make a difference? You know, like between using something that's user friendly and not user friendly. How does it make a difference in the industry or in a company? You know.
Well, in two ways. When you have to learn to use a software that is not user friendly, is a big headache, and then you have to lose a lot of time. User friendly softwares are quicker to learn and quicker to use, so you lose much less time if you work with something that it's easy to handle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Jacopo, generally speaking, how do you think that in this moment underground mines are performing in Chile?
Oh, we are going underground everywhere in Chile. We're going underground actually anywhere in the world because the deposits are getting deeper and surface mineral grades are getting lower. So we are going underground. Any mine has no surface future. The biggest example is the legendary mine Chuquicamata, that was one of the biggest and in copper mine open pit in the world. Its pit was deeper than a kilometer, and it was a giant and had to be closed the pit, and now they are underground. And they have a huge operation of block caving that has 1,000 kilometers of tunnels of preparation, undercutting. And we have also the older underground mine in the world still operating, and it is El Teniente. And
yes.
Anytime they are going, they call it nivel mina, mine level. So they're going down and down with new mine levels. But basically, any mine level is a mine by itself. So they're deeper and deeper, building new mines. And that's the future of mine. We have many issues related with that. The use of water, the increasing resistance of materials. So we don't have to deal with new drilling equipment, with new explosives. So it's a big challenge, but we are going down, and open pit will grow smaller and smaller in the future.
Yeah, I can see that. And how do companies, you know, accommodate for the costs? Because of course, an underground mine costs. Well, here's my question actually. Would you say a surface mine or what is cheaper actually, a surface mine or an underground mine?
It depends on the mining method.
That's correct. Yeah.
Usually, underground is a bit more expensive, but on the other hand, you have less personnel. And modern underground mining is working with remote controlled equipment or autonomous equipment. So you have less manpower to pay. But on the other hand, it depends on the method. The most used methods in Chile are block caving or panel caving. They are amongst the cheapest in underground.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. You also have, you know, other factors like ventilation, you know, other
stability.
Stability issues. Yeah, you need to take care of the geotechnical issue. Underground is much bigger than in surface mining. Well, I guess for surface mining, it is important as well, especially when you're dealing with benches. But yeah, it's. I
yes,
can see
of course.
different.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
if you remember the Rio Tinto mine, don't remember the name, where the biggest slope collapse occurred some years ago. It was, I can't remember the name. It was a Rio Tinto mine in the US, and there was a stability issue as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna talk a little bit about investment. Like as you mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, I know you're you're not fully integrated in the mining industry, but I mean we can still take from your advice. We can definitely learn a lot from you. So my question is, what advice would you give investors in Chile's mining industry? So with that being said, if someone wants to invest and they're trying to look at the mining industry, so what advice would you give that person? Things that they should look at when trying to invest. What's really important in a mining company?
Well, don't go near large scale mines that already exist. There is so much territory on Chile that is unexplored or explored but not exploited. Northern Chile and Bolivia, they have the lithium rush at the moment. So lithium is a great opportunity. There are so many opportunities also in a field that I work with a lot, and it's small scale mining. There are many deposits that are not of interest of large scale companies because they're too small, narrow veins and so on. But small scale miners, artisanal miners, mine them. And with investment together with these small scale miners, we have a model. We created a model between 2012 and 2014 that demonstrates that working with artisanal miners with proper investment in what they don't do, that is mineral research, because small scale miners go direct into production without exploration. So they sort of gamble to find the mineral. But if you invest in small scale mining, in exploration, and then you go in partnership with the miners, you have more than 20% increase in internal rate of return of your investment, and the compared to an investment in large scale mining. So that's a big opportunity that I recommend for investors. And well, there are also many other fields of opportunity. The Chilean territory is highly underexplored. So there is also much opportunity for exploration and finding resources.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, artisanal mining must be very popular in Chile then.
There is a lot. All along the territory, but there is a lot here in central Chile where I live, and then there is a lot in the north as well.
Oh, I see.
In the what they call it, the small north and the big north, they call it.
So despite the different challenges that could be presented in the normal mining or in the artisanal mining, where have you identified the biggest opportunities in the mining sector? Or
well, opportunities. Look, there are so many opportunities for greener mining, use of alternative energies, alternative sources of energy, reducing your energy consumption, making your operation more autonomous. So also reducing the dependence of operators and reducing the exposure of operators to the risk associated with the operation. Adopting the technologies of the future. So the Internet of Things, mining 4.0, automation, as I said, the mining has to go that way. And we all know that the mining sector amongst all the sectors in the industry, is the most conservative. So decision making for change in the mining industry is the slower and most difficult from compared with any other kind of business. So this should change. Mining companies should learn to be more flexible and learn to adapt to innovation.
Yes, but I guess it's because also, a mining company usually it's a lot of capital, a lot of operation costs. So when it comes to being flexible, I would see that it would be hard for some mining companies to do that, especially when it comes to trying out new things or innovation. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but like it's a lot of companies struggle with that because they're very limited in their assets, right?
Yes, but if you make some economical simulation, you see that applying new technologies will actually increase your income and the value of your assets.
Yeah,
For sure. Mhm.
absolutely. And well, another question for you. So what makes Chile an ideal place for mining exploration? What are some of the characteristics that you can think of?
Oh, it's the geological feature. The Andes mountains are so rich in any kind of marketing mineral that it's a huge opportunity. Now, everybody understands that anywhere in the world there is a lot of resistance for opening new mines from environmental activists, for example. So there is a lot of resistance all over the territory. And recently also another challenge for Chilean mines was the discussion of reducing, not allowing mining operation near glaciers, right? And there are many on top of the Andes. So approving that law would be, of course, a great benefit for the environmental protection, but on the other hand, would create a great obstacle for the operation of mines. But apart from that, the territory is so rich that exploration should be the prior idea of companies coming in Chile. There is so much unexplored territory that needs to be researched under the geological point of view.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, so with this, we conclude our today's podcast. Thank you everyone for attending. Also, thank you so much, Mr. Jacopo, for sharing your experiences and thoughts with us. We really appreciate you being here today.
My pleasure.
And we're just gonna have a look at the comments here. So it looks like here. No, all good for the comments. Well, as always, if any of the audience members, you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@promine.com. And with that being said, Professor Jacopo, do you have anything else to add on top of the questions to conclude the mining industry in Chile?
Just that if you come to Chile to work with the mining industry, the wine is very good also.
Yeah.
You have an incentive to come down here.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Well,
Thank you.
thanks again. And we really appreciate you being here. And thanks again one more time.
My pleasure. No worries.
Awesome. All right. Take care for now. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.